Well, listen, guys, we're ready to go into week 3 of the playlist series. So far, it has been really good so far. Last week, Brittany did a phenomenal job leading the message, Scars to Your Beautiful. And so much so that I was like, man, I wanted to preach again this week. She's like, nope, it's all yours. It's all yours. So this week, we're going into a song that's called Something Just Like This by the band Coldplay. Something Just Like This by the band Coldplay. Now, some of you might be asking a question, but especially for those of you that may be new to our church, you may say, why is it that we're preaching about music? Why are we preaching about music? Well, the fact of the matter is Jesus often used parables to teach some of the greatest biblical lessons that we read in the Bible today. And what is a parable? A parable is defined as a simple story that uses ordinary life circumstances where Jesus pulled out spiritual lessons that were sticky. You know what I mean by sticky? It means that it's memorable. Anytime a kid is sitting in a car and they're old enough to talk, Jill's at that age where he's talking. Right now, his favorite word is no. Thankfully, he hasn't got to the place yet where he can say McDonald's. You want to know why? Because there's something about a kid when they see that big arch sign, that big arch M, that it gets etched into their brain. And they can see it, just a glance of it, and it turns into McDonald's. We have great food at home. McDonald's. I want McDonald's now. And the funny thing about it is the reason why kids do that, and even some adults, is because it's sticky. So when Jesus was teaching parables, the whole intent or the purpose behind it was to take everyday life circumstances and to put it in such a way that no matter who you were, no matter what type of education you have, no matter what background you come from, you would be able to remember it. Well, I truly believe that this is just my personal conviction. I'm not saying that this is biblical. I'm not saying that I read this anywhere, but I truly believe that today's modern day parables come from music. And so this is the reason why we've been doing the playlist series. And so in week 1, we did the song Hard Love. Week 2, we did the song Scars to Your Beautiful. And as I mentioned earlier, today we're covering the song Something Just Like This. Now, in the message, Scars to Your Beautiful, Brittany focused on how our scars are real. She shared a lot of her personal testimony of things that she went through, but she talked about how our scars do not define us. They do not define our worth. And she talked about how no matter what scar you may have, whether you're a woman, whether you're a man, whether you're a kid, and how many of the even students, they go through scars. Students, they go through bullying sometimes, they go through issues of self-acceptance, they go through issues of low self-esteem. No matter what scar it is that you're facing, when you face it from a bold standpoint, when you face it with a mindset of faith, there is nothing that you can't overcome. But this is the thing, coming to church and being a Christian is so much more. It's so much more than just feeling good about yourself. You see, that there are a lot of places where you can go and you can get a feel-good message. You can go to the library right now. You can go to Barnes & Noble. You can find some book that will tell you that you're amazing. You can find some person online, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook or wherever it might be, somebody that's having some sort of online seminar to say, listen, Sandy, you are absolutely awesome. There is no one that is better than you. But how many of you know that Christianity was never about us? Yes, God wants us to remember that we are the apple of his eye. God wants us to remember that, we are powerful, that we are more than a conqueror, but it does not end there. God has a purpose and a plan for us. Matter of fact, God has marked you for godly purpose. Somebody say it with me. I've been marked.
I've been marked
for godly purpose.
For godly purpose.
For godly purpose. So listen, we are marked. Now, this is the thing. It's easy to be marked when you're not going through anything. It's easy for you to accept the calling that God has for you when everything is going great. Your kids are getting up in the morning on time. They're supposed to be up at 7 o'clock, and they're getting up at 6:59, and they have these beaming smiles, and everything is wonderful, and you don't have to push them out the door to go to school. And when you go to work, your supervisor, or if you're an owner of a business, everyone under you came to work on time, and you know what? No one had a bad attitude on Monday, and it was great, and it was wonderful. It is easy to walk in your calling when everything is great. It's easy to walk into your calling when you have a building or a church that is a building that's comfortable and has everything that you need. And you don't have to come here on Sunday morning to set up and tear down the way that we do. It's easy to walk in your calling when everything is comfortable. When it seems like man, I'm just having a run of good luck here. But this is the thing. When life hits you, sometimes, even when everything's going well, there's moments that you know what, you just don't feel like you're good enough. You feel like you're struggling, if you will. Okay. Maybe you're a wife, and maybe your husband thinks the world of you. He may say, you know what, I think you're an amazing wife. I think you're an amazing mother. Now, listen. If you don't think that, just don't look at it. Just look straight ahead. Just look straight ahead. But we know we have nothing but amazing mothers and fathers in here. But you know what? No matter what you might think of, you might be saying to yourself, I feel like I'm not doing enough. I feel like, I could be better as a mother. I can be better, as a wife. Or maybe it's the other way. Maybe you're the husband. And you're like, man, I know I'm providing for the home and I'm doing all these wonderful things and I'm leading my family spiritually, but man, I could be spending more time, whatever it might be. Or maybe you're at the job and you've been putting in time at this job. You've been a good soldier. You've been there on time. You've been showing initiative. You've been going above and beyond. But now, there's that possibility that they may want to lay you off. You know what? As much as we have Jesus, that can make you a little bit angry. Especially when you've been there for 10 years, 15 years. Your retirement has been accruing. You had your schedule set. Probably the kids out the door. You know what time you're going to go to work, what time you're going to come home. And now everything is about to be turned upside down. You wanted to save your money because you want to go on this amazing vacation with your spouse. And now you're going to have to use your savings just to live. Life hits you out of nowhere. I want to tell you this story. When I was in middle school, I went to this school called Beaver, but we had this, we were in a separate building that was called BWAP. It was for children that were mentally gifted. And so, how many of you know that when they separate kids for things like that, it's never good because when you come back to the main population, everyone's making fun of you. So it wasn't particularly a great thing for me. But you know what? I loved being in school. I was a pretty good student. And one day I was walking home, and now you guys have heard me say this. For some reason, most of you guys don't believe this, but I really am an introvert. Like, I really did stay to myself. I was naturally shy. I didn't really talk to anybody for the most part. I just wanted to go to school, get good grades, and do what I was supposed to do. Well, there was this one particular kid that made it his mission in life to make sure that I would not have a happy day. And every single day, after school, he would follow me home. Now, it just so happened that he lived like 2 doors down from me. I don't know why he couldn't walk way around the block. He could walk the same way home that I walk. Now, listen, I come from a big city, and so in this particular area, almost everyone walks home. Most people didn't really get on school bus, so when we're walking home, and so every day, I'm either trying to run home or I'm trying to avoid him. I'm taking side streets. And so this one particular day, my father came home early. He was driving by, and he noticed this kid bothered me, but I didn't notice that my father was there. And my father didn't say anything at all. But then he called my nephew in. Now, don't worry about the details of this story. My nephew is like a couple years younger than me, but that's only because my half-sister is like 20 years older than me. So we'll talk about that later. Okay? So he invited my nephew around. I'm like, man, this is awesome. I get to have company on a school night, but my dad has some other plans. And so he was like, you know what? I can't be there for you always. So I need to teach you how to defend yourself. And I'm like, okay, this ought to be interesting. And so he said, I want you guys to start slap boxing. So, we're going. And I'm like, I'm pretty confident, mind you. I had never been in a fight a day in my life. I'm a pretty easygoing person. Everybody likes me for the most part. And so I'm defending myself really well. And I'm like, you know what? I think I can handle myself. And everything he was throwing at me, I'm like, I'm just blocking. Like, what you got? What you got? And I started to get a little full of myself. And as I was blocking my face, he says, okay, I got something for you. He gave me a really hard body shot to my ribs. And I said, that's not fair. And my dad said, what are you going to do in a real fight? There are no rules. You got to be able to defend yourself. But this is the point of the story. I was prepared for everything that I could see coming. But it was the one thing that I didn't see coming that knocked me off my rocker. And so for some of us, it's just that there's that everyday things that we see coming and we're just tired of the grind of life. But for others of us, you know what, we're prepared. When we see that battle coming, when we see that hard time coming, we're prayed up, we're going to small group, we're sharing it with other people saying, hey, pray with me, intercede with me. We're doing our devotions every morning to make sure that our faith can remain full. But then there's those moments that life hits us and we didn't see it coming. What happens when you've been married the first time and the marriage didn't work out? And you're like, you know what, if I get married again, it's going to be for life that's going to work out. But now, your second wife or your second husband is saying, you know what, I'll never want to make it. And you didn't see it coming. And you put everything you had into this. You were going to marriage counseling, and you were doing all the right things. You were going to every marriage conference you could go to. And they're still not sure if they want to be with you. Well, what happens when you're doing everything right to raise your children? You're raising them in the fear of the Lord, as the Bible says. You're disciplining them. You're loving them. You're spending time with them. But then you get a call from the school, and it's your kid that's in trouble. It's your kid that's bothering other people. You know, I got a call this week. You know, Gio is very, very passive, extremely passive. And so every day I ask the teacher, hey, how's Gio doing? Oh, he's great. Now, when he first came here to the Learning Garden, to this child care facility, you know, he was a kid that they had to protect him from, they had to protect, basically keep him separate to make sure he could be protected, because sometimes the kids would hit Gio, some of the more aggressive kids. They would just sit him in a different place when we eat food. They would take his food. He'd be like, well, what happened to all my food? And all the kids would take his food. So they would separate. He didn't really know how to defend himself because he's the only child. Now he's like, no, this is my food. His favorite word is mine. So if anyone comes near, he's like, mine! Nope, get away, mine! So much so that even now, that he has food in front of him, and me as his daddy, I'm the one that's providing the food for him. If I go try to take a piece of chicken off of his plate, he will kindly take my hand, move it out of the way, and say, mine. But this week, for the first time, I said, hey, how's Gio doing? I went to go pick him up. And the teacher said, I don't know what happened. Gio pushed down 2 kids today. And I'm like, oh, my kid? Now, thankfully, they think it's just a phase, and they don't think that it came from a vicious place. But what if it is your kid that you did everything right, but your kid's the one that stole the car? What if your kid's the one that's accused of being a bully? Well, what if it's your kid that's doing something, you're like, I had no idea where this came from because I thought I was doing everything right. Sometimes it's the things that we don't expect, the hits that we didn't see coming, that knock us out. The lyrics to the song says, I've been reading books of old, the legends and the myths, Achilles and his gold, Hercules and his gifts, Spider-Man's control, and Batman with his fist. And clearly, I don't see myself upon that list. So, in this particular song, you'll notice that it's a love song. And if you guys haven't noticed, this is not a Christian song, if you will. But the reason why I chose this song is, you know what? We all didn't necessarily grow up on Christian music. We may have listened to hymns, but you know what? I grew up listening to a lot of secular music as well. And so sometimes when people are listening to secular music, you can still pull out biblical truths. So now the purpose of this message is not necessarily meant to be one to deal with relationships or necessarily about marriage per se. But you know what? The song says something just like this. And it says, you know what? I'm not necessarily looking for a superhero of some sort. But how many of you know that is exactly how God looks at us? You know, sometimes we feel as if we're not good enough, and so sometimes that's the reason that we try to stay away from saying, God, I don't want to be marked. I don't want to walk in this calling, because when I have that calling, when I know that I'm marked, there comes responsibility. You see, a lot of times we don't want to be marked because we don't want responsibility. People say, I want to come early. If I come early, they're going to ask me to set up. If I come to small groups, they might ask me to read a scripture. If I show that I have a gift of any sort that I'm bringing, Connection Church will find a way to use me. And yes, I will. Amen. But you know what? This is the thing. God is saying no matter who you are and what your background is, or no matter what scars you have or what issues you are facing, God is saying, I can use someone that is just like you. Someone that's just like you. So what's the lie? What's the lie? Here's the lie. We feel as if, as long as we just come to church, as long as we do the things that look Christian, then we can just kind of skate by. Now, I know this is no one here at Connection Church, but how many of you know there are a lot of people that go to church that have no intention of following Jesus. They have no intention of advancing the kingdom. They just simply do it because they want to feel good about themselves and be able to say, hey, I went to church. That's what they want to do. A lot of pastors call it COD Christians. You know what that stands for? Christmas, Mother's Day, and Easter. The only time they come to church is Christmas, Mother's Day, and Easter. And they're like, you know what? I haven't gone to church any other time. But you know what? I got to get that check mark for God. When my intention for God, listen, when on your son's birthday, I'm a good Christian. I'm a good Christian. But God is saying, you have a purpose that goes beyond saying, I'm just a Christian. You have a purpose that goes beyond wearing a t-shirt that says, I love Jesus. You have a purpose that goes beyond carrying a really big Bible that's under your arm to prove to people just how much of a Jesus follower you are. What's the consequence? When we don't walk in our calling, when we try to reject the fact that God has marked us, hear me clearly, every single time that we hesitate, every single time that we try to shrink back, something dies around us. There's someone that's not hearing your story of what God has done for you. There's someone that's married right now that says, we're on the brink of divorce, and because you don't want to share your story, they're not hearing how God has brought you and your husband or you and your wife through a tough time. There's someone that's saying, you know what, I'm facing a financial crisis. I've been unemployed for the last year, and I have no idea how God's going to bring me out. And you could be the person that God has sent to minister to that person. You could be the one that God has sent to encourage that person. But because you have not done it, they're saying, you know what, I don't know that there's hope. Here's a relevant truth for you. For many people that have not been to church, you are the only walking Bible that they will ever see. You are the only walking Bible that they will ever see. You are the closest representation to what Jesus is. And so when you take on this mentality of, this is my personal Lord and Savior, I'm not going to share it with anyone. What we're really saying is, God, I want to serve you as long as I can do it undercover. God, just let me be under the table where no one can see me. I'm comfortable down here, God. God, I'll serve you for the rest of my life, but I don't want to do any work. This is what I want to tell you. No matter who you are, no matter what your background is, no matter how many scriptures you know or how many scriptures you don't know, no matter how much time you've been in the church, whether it's been one day or it's been 100 days, God has use of you. God has use of you. There were plenty of unqualified people in the Bible that we were to look at and was like, man, there's no one in the world God should have used you. Abraham was old. Elijah was suicidal. Joseph was abused. Jacob went bankrupt. Moses had a speech problem. Gideon was afraid. Samson was a womanizer. Imagine Samson trying to lead the day in the Me Too era. Rahab was a prostitute. Lions, tigers, and bears. Go by. Imagine Rahab leading the witness ministry. The Samaritan woman divorce. This is the thing I want to tell you. When we know that we are truly marked by God, we can walk boldly. Our boldest moments are our best moments. Say it with me one more time. Our boldest moments are our best moments. Let's go to the Word of God. We're going to go to our first scripture today. I'm going to read through this really quickly. 1 Corinthians, the first chapter, verses 26 to 28. 1 Corinthians, the first chapter, verses 26 to 28. If you don't have a Bible, you can pull it up on your smartphone, and you also should have it on the screen here. I'm reading from the Christian Standard Version of the Bible. It reads as follows. It says, brothers and sisters, consider your calling. Not many were wise from a human perspective. Not many were powerful. Yeah, that describes me. Not many of noble birth. Yeah, I didn't have that either. Instead, God has chosen what is foolish in the world to shame the wise. Now hear me clearly before we read the rest of that. God is not calling you a fool. What God is saying is what other humans regard to be foolish. So when you say, I come from the tribe of McNeil, I know who McNeils are, they know who the Rockefellers are, they know who the Trumps are, they know who the Obamas are. But if I'm saying, hey, I'm a McNeil, they're going to say, so what? I didn't grow up in a part of the world where, you know what, where my house or the neighborhood that I live in, it automatically gave me prestige. I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. And if you did, there's nothing wrong with that. But what God is saying is, well, all people will look at you and say, you know what, you're not qualified. You didn't go to the best school. You only went to Akron Community College. You didn't go to NYU. Or you didn't go to an Ivy League school. God says, I use the things that the world considers foolish, and I will still call that person. You're still marked. And notice what he says here. He says, instead, God has chosen what is foolish in the world to shame the wise, and God has chosen what is weak in the world to shame the strong. God has chosen what is insignificant and despised in the world, what is viewed as nothing to bring nothing, what is viewed as nothing to bring to nothing, what is viewed as something. So what is God saying here? God is saying that, you know what? When other people will say that you're not qualified, when other people, even sometimes maybe the person is yourself, maybe you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you say, you know what, I am a nobody. That is a lie. God is saying that you are the apple of his eye. God is saying that you are more than a conqueror. God is saying that you are chosen. The Bible also tells us that God says that when he looks at you, he calls you friend. God has marked you, which means what? As long as God has called you, as long as God has marked you, you have everything that you need to succeed. When you go talk to your neighbor and you say to yourself, you know what? I don't know what John 3:16 says. You might be saying to yourself, I don't know the Romans road to salvation. I've never been to theology school. You know what? I didn't even go to Bible study all the time when I was growing up. But God is saying that does not mean that you are not marked. You have everything that you need in order to expand my kingdom. And all you have to do is just go up there and say, you know what? Let me tell you about what Jesus has done for me. Don't allow your scars to hold you back. Don't allow your past experiences to hold you back. God says, I have a purpose and a plan that's for you. Now, I'm going to speak really quickly as a pastor. We're getting ready to wrap this up. Sometimes, you know what we do? Now, if you're a new Christian, this may not apply to you. But sometimes as Christians, you know what we do? We say, you know what? I don't really like that whole evangelism thing. See, we like preaching about evangelism. Amen, Pastor, preach. We love giving them missions. But we say, hey, go invite somebody. Wait a minute. That's not my calling, Pastor. That's not my calling. I don't like people. Why do I got to talk to people? Can I just leave? But you know what? That's what God has called us to. It's more than just coming here on a Sunday morning. It's more than just reading your devotion and doing things to build yourself up. If you are building yourself up and you are not sharing it with the world, imagine cooking a Thanksgiving dinner. Imagine on Christmas going all out and decorating a house and not a single family member, friend, or person showed up. And you were slaving in the kitchen. Now me, I come from a household, we got soul food. It's a big macaroni and cheese, and fried chicken, turkey, and yams. Like yams. It's a macaroni and this different combination. I didn't really do the cranberry sauce, but for those that think, God bless them. Give me some red velvet cake. It was awesome. Now listen, if I'm spending 3 days storing turkeys or whatever else in the freezer, baking things I can't halfway bake, but I promise you, you can eat my food, you won't die. If I'm going to play for 3 days, somebody better show up. If Brittany don't show up, but imagine you being filled up, and God's like, I finally have you in a place to where you can share what I have done with the rest of the world. And you're like, nope. It's all mine, God. It's all for me. And I want you to give you a view of what God sees. As you're holding it to yourself, God's looking at every neighbor, every coworker, every person in your community, and He's literally watching you die while you're holding on to life by yourself. God says, I'm not looking for a superhero. That's what the song says. I'm not looking for Hercules. I'm not looking for Superman or for Batman. You know why it's easy to believe in them as connection worship coming forward? It's always easy to watch movies. Now, I haven't seen Avengers, just no one tell me if you've seen it. But you know what? When Batman came out, Superman came out, Hercules came out, you know what was lovely about those movies? No matter how bad of a beatdown any one of those heroes were getting, they always won in the end. I've never seen anyone be excited about going to a movie and Batman lost and like, well, wait a minute, he's supposed to be the hero. But you know what's hard for us a lot of times? We're in the middle of it. We can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And God is saying, you know what? You are just like that Superman. You are just like that Batman, because when you have me on the inside of you, there is nothing that you can't do. So as you leave here today, remember this. Your boldest moments are your best moments. Your boldest moments are your best moments. What does that look like? Imagine being bold with your family. That one family member that, you know what, you just never took the time to pray for. Maybe you knew it was going to be a hard conversation, so you just never presented them with Jesus. Can you imagine that when they, having the assurance of knowing that they said, Jesus, I give my life to you. Imagine working on a job or having a company where there was this person, they did everything under the sun that was hellacious. And now all of a sudden they're like, you know what? I've accepted Jesus, I want to come to church with you. I want some of what you have. I want some of your peace. I want some of your joy. Imagine that. Imagine this for a moment as a pastor. Every single person in this neighborhood that doesn't belong to another church says, you know what? I want Jesus. And because of that, I see Jesus shining so brightly here at Connection Church. I want to come there. I know they got hard chairs. There ain't no carpet. And you know it's in a gymnasium. But there's something that when I go there, I feel the presence of God. There's something that when I go there, I feel the love of God. There's something that when I go there, I feel God in a way that I never had before. If you're a student, imagine going to school and these same kids that say, you know what, this whole God thing. But there's something that touches them. They have an experience the same way this Samaritan woman had an experience. She went to the well Rather, the woman, well, she went to the well having no idea that she was going to have an encounter with Jesus. And that one conversation changed her life. Imagine if Jesus wasn't born. She even said so, wait a minute, what are you doing talking to me? If this had been in the early 2000s, I can imagine she would have did something like, talk to the hand. But instead of being turned off by that, Jesus' oldest moment was her best moment. Remember, your oldest moments are your best moments.